Isn't that crazy to think, though, that there's like a time when cars didn't have car alarms on them?
The old BMW is like the easiest thing in the world to steal.
The Hondas are the easiest thing in the world to steal.
Yeah, that was probably the same page.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another week of Brews with the Dudes.
Yep, sorry about last week, but stuff happens.
Well, particularly remodeling a house happens, and let's say the deadlines got really tight because my daughter is due the 18th of September, and we need adequate time so that my wife can kind of get things set up in the baby's room, which we are now sleeping in right now while I remodel the master bedroom.
Yeah, and I thought about doing the podcast by myself, but I figured 30 minutes of me like trying to do card magic tricks and learning to juggle probably wouldn't be entertaining.
That'd be really entertaining.
Yeah, for like the first
like
minute
that's
and
what
a
came
half.
to mind.
That
Like
was
you
the
were gonna
first two
do.
things.
You say you're gonna juggle and do card tricks.
Card tricks.
Would you guys want to see that? I mean, that sounds pretty awesome.
I just hold up a card and be like, is this your card? And like, you can't get back to me.
Just
so I'm like, cool.
Just like keep pulling out random cards. Like, is this your card?
I got a 1 in 50 shot of getting it right, plus however many people are watching. So it's like, it's bound to have the right card to somebody.
I think that's flawless logic.
Yep.
All right.
We'll do a special of that.
Yeah.
Just do
We'll do
magic
specifically on Donnie showing you guys how he does card tricks.
Yeah, which is just picking a card. Like, is it that one?
Yeah. Okay. Beer time.
Beer. You want a beer?
Time. So this guy's actually already won in. Oh boy.
Bam.
Javatized.
That looks tasty.
Okay, this guy, it's 8 o'clock at night, and he gives me a coffee stout.
Yep.
I can't trust you. I can't trust you to make good decisions.
I didn't even read the alcohol content on this
This is
one.
a breakfast beer.
So what? It's breakfast somewhere.
Yeah.
I would totally have this
Oh,
for
man.
breakfast tomorrow, but my boss would get upset.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so it's called Javatized coffee stout. Where'd you find this?
Super One Liquor.
Super One Liquor. I mean, if you guys are watching in another state, you don't have this.
This is going to be tasty.
You know what I forgot? I forgot those stickers.
You did forget the
From
stickers.
Greasy Boy Customs. Yeah. So we'll
You're
take a sip
old.
of this first, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about Greasy Boy Customs. Is it amazing?
Yeah. This is super good.
See, here's the thing. I love coffee stouts, but
So
in
do I.
my old age of my late 30s, I'm really sensitive to caffeine. Like pretty much any time after 2 o'clock.
I'll keep that in
I'm
mind.
having this like 3 hours from bedtime.
That's super good, though.
Oh, okay. Wait.
It's very good.
Lupulin?
Sure.
Lupulin Brewing. That's who actually brews it.
Yeah.
You're the one who's supposed to be telling people about this stuff.
I picked a can that I liked, and it said stout, so I'm like, sold.
Picked a pretty can.
Yep, pretty
Yeah.
much.
How many of you guys do that? Buy a beer exclusively based on the can?
That's why I picked my wife.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Based on the can.
Based on the can. Nice. Cheers to that. See, that's the COVID,
The COVID?
cheers.
the
That's social
the
distancing
6-inch
cheers.
social distancing.
Yeah. Well, we connected on that.
well.
Touched ends, but
It's all good.
all right, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you very much for coming back, and we got a few special things tonight.
We do.
Well, first of all, we have a local band, local to the Twin Ports area. The name is the Iron Range Outlaw Brigade. And it's kind of funny, like, we'll feature them at the very end. Their song comes sort of last as what closes out the show, but I just want to take a minute to tell you guys a little bit about them because they're...
They sound
I
like
go way back with one of the guys, and yeah, we should
Okay.
probably just try and explain the sound even for that matter too, because it's so unique. But so I'll start off by just explaining like the purpose of us picking bands to feature is like we're looking at trying to promote bands that are sort of in the Minnesota or Midwest area.
Local bands that really represent the music scene that we have.
Yeah.
Duluth is really special, and the cities as well. There's a lot of local
good.
music. Growing up in Topeka, Kansas, there wasn't that. You couldn't go just see bands.
Yeah.
But Duluth does its whole homegrown festival. I know the cities constantly has local bands playing and everything. So that's what we're trying to do is just, like you said, promote local music.
Exactly. Like outside of the plague, we normally have an amazing music, what do you even call it, festival? So it's a week-long festival where every single venue in town has local bands featured throughout the evening. And so like weekend nights are a little more of the showcasey nights where you've got a bigger stacked group, goes a little bit later sometimes. But really it's like the entire week and it's pretty much everywhere in town, including Superior.
Yeah, and it's every genre you can think of. You can go to a dive bar and see screamo metal, or you could go across the street and see some like Hank Williams cover band.
Yeah, or like totally hippy dippy, like really chill love music or something like that. It's just wild.
It's crazy. I think even doesn't the Duluth Symphony even play one night?
Yeah, that's true actually. I think our symphony does actually. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. And so because we have such a special music scene around here, a big part of it is kind of profiling the bands that actually play around here. And then we also, of course, we've got some people down in the cities that we try and somehow a bug got in here.
You have 2 mosquitoes. They're just going to swarm us the
That's
entire
our
night.
fan base. That's our local, our studio audience.
A couple bloodsuckers.
So yeah, we're just trying to kind of cover the gamut and bring you guys some like really cool bands. So, Iron Range Outlaw Brigade. So I go way back with Johnny. Johnny, he plays steel guitar on it, but in the song that we're going to be playing for you guys, he actually plays the trumpet, which is pretty awesome.
That's pretty sweet.
So Johnny's dad was actually the music teacher at our little teeny school that we went to. And so music is just like, that's their family. Like music is a huge part of their family. And so I've known Johnny since, I don't know, he was a grade ahead of me. So whenever we ran into each other for the first time, I don't know.
Since you're like 7 or 8?
Probably, somewhere in there. And I'm 30, almost 37. Right? Am I almost 37 or almost 38?
I'll be 30 in a few weeks.
Almost 37. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, we and actually Johnny and we went to, I think, one of my first major concerts together. We went and saw Bob Dylan when I was like, I think 15 or 16.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and
so sorry.
I appreciate Bob Dylan, but unfortunately this concert, like it was like promoting a new album that had come out, and so he didn't cover any of the old stuff. And I was so stoked for Rainy Day Women, and he just never played it. So I was a little disappointed, but it was still cool to see like a Minnesota legend like that.
Yeah, but he hates Minnesota.
Bob Dylan hates Minnesota?
Yeah, because he got made fun of. He was told he was never going to make it big and all that kind of stuff. And
really, are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure he hates Minnesota.
Any of our audience, you guys want to jump in? Does he hate Minnesota? Are you going to call his bluff? I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But I know that I used to live right next to his house that he grew up in or lived in for a little while up on the hillside in Duluth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. I saw SWAT out there with assault rifles because there's a crazy guy inside with a gun. It's pretty awesome.
No, see,
that's living in hillside Duluth.
If Bob Dylan wrote a song about that, I'd listen. I could think of one Bob Dylan song I like.
Which one's that?
Was it Man and Me? From The Big Lebowski.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's like the only Bob Dylan song I like. Yeah. Other than that, it's like Blow Your Nose. Try to not sound so nasally. Oh my God,
man. You're Bob Dylan, dude.
Nope.
Some people will fight you to the death to protect him.
Bring it. I'll give you my address.
All right, so iRob, they are a very unique band because they are sort of how I would describe them is like that classic outlaw country music. So we're thinking like Hank Williams, but maybe even a little bit before that era, kind of way back when country music was sort of like the badass music, which it legit was at one point. They were
surprising to me.
They were the outlaws. They cursed. They were the drunks. They were the
drunk. I could see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't do country.
Well, do you gotta shit talk everything that gets suggested here? My God, man. All right, so
I like Johnny Cash.
Do you?
I do like Johnny Cash.
I mean, can we really consider Johnny Cash country music?
Well, maybe that's why I like him.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so iRob, they have this sort of classic outlaw country music sound to them, but then they've also got like and they even talk about this in their bios with like punk rock level of energy to some of their songs. So it's rowdy, but it's also like kind of that traditional country. It's really a variety sound of sort of a traditional
I
classic
definitely
country.
give it a shot.
Yeah, well, it'll play at the end of it,
yeah.
so then you get to hear it.
Good.
So stoked to show that to you guys, but that'll be a little bit later on.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about our history lesson for today.
Yeah,
So
I'm kind of curious on what this is.
yeah. All right, I got to pull up my info on it because there were a fair amount of details to actually get straight here.
Now, is
okay.
it just the picture, or is he like seconds away from going up in flames?
It's just the picture.
Okay.
But this is 1935.
Okay.
1935. Jesus. This car made 2,500 horsepower. So that's insane.
That's nuts.
And the thing went 300 miles an hour.
Damn.
Yeah. So Sir Malcolm Campbell set a land speed record, and that was September 3rd of 1935, when he made 2,500 horsepower Bluebird. Campbell made 2 runs over a 1 mile course at speeds averaging 301 mile per hour. In breaking the 300 mile per hour barrier, he surpassed the world record of 276 that he set the year prior.
I was gonna say, even 276 in 1935 is super impressive.
That's incredible.
That is...
I mean, if you think about like how far in the past that is.
Yeah, that's almost 100
it's
years.
Almost 100 years. It's what, 85 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
85 years ago.
85 years ago, somebody made 2,500 horsepower, and God knows what. I probably should have figured out what the motor was, but I mean, whatever. It's insanity.
It doesn't matter. That's crazy numbers considering the time period.
Yeah, exactly. And hit 300 miles per hour. I mean, I'm just trying to think of like what the chassis must have been like. Like what powered this thing, and what did the chassis look like?
How hard is it to control? Because I mean, given old cars like we have sitting back here, they didn't handle extremely well.
Yeah.
And this thing's 15 years newer than that.
I know, that's so funny to think about.
Can you imagine going 300 miles an hour and kind of having steering?
Oh my God. Well, yeah.
What
do you
do? Do you just hopefully stop? Like,
you pray that you're gonna stop. I mean, to think that this thing's 15 years newer than that, and it made 100 horsepower and like 200 and some foot-pounds of torque, and
might hit 60.
These things move pretty good. I mean, on the way back from the cities, the thing was doing 75 just fine.
Yeah, didn't it break down on the way back?
Yes. Yes, it did. But don't worry about that. That was the points collapsing.
Okay.
All right. So here we got a pretty good shot of what the thing actually looks like. And one of the things that I love about this particular photo is that in the background you see some really badass old like BSA, or I don't even know, like, I mean 1930s, 1940s. I'm not sure what this photo's from. It's probably from that timeline.
Yeah.
So I don't even know.
Well, the crazy...
Was Harley Davidson a thing back in the 30s? Or did they start up in the 40s?
I thought they were post-war.
Yeah, I
think they're post-war.
So I don't know, whatever a pre-war motorcycle brand was, you can see one just leaned up there against the fence. I just love it. I don't know.
So cool.
It's just neat to think of like where the automotive technology started and where it's gotten to now.
So judging by the picture, I'm assuming those are intake vents on the body there.
I don't know. Maybe.
So is that like a V12?
It's got to be
something like that? Just
monster of an engine, because I can't imagine they were using turbochargers.
Yeah, it's something they probably put in a fighter plane for the war.
Oh, well, that's the thing though. The fighter planes back then, they were rotary. They're big rotary, not like Wankel engines, but they were rotary fire. So they had like the multiple banks, or not the banks, the jugs that sort of rotated around the outside of the motor. Like, so, I mean, I don't think they would have ran something like that. We'll have to look it up. I mean, I should have actually pulled up that information.
Regardless, though, it's still a super cool, not only vehicle, but just automotive achievement, given the time period and everything. And
so this is one thing that I actually want to visit a little bit about as sort of a tangent on this. Land speed records, they all take place down at the Bonneville Salt Flats, which to me is a I got to see the place. It's on my bucket list. You know,
We don't have anything fast enough worthy of driving out there.
yes, but I can go see other people's fast shit at the
true.
Bonneville Salt Flats. And there's something like so iconic about it because they've been racing out there since I don't know the 20s. Like pretty much they built Model A's and they've been racing them ever since. They were racing before that even, I think.
I think so.
I don't know.
You know,
they've been racing for a long freaking time.
You know old cars better than I do.
Well, and the Salt Flats has always been a spot that they've raced. So, what I love, especially with this photo, because I know while researching the Bonneville Salt Flats, I just came across this one and I love it. I love because they took an old Model T. I think this might be a Model A. And then, you know, I love that they've always like torn them down and minimized them and stuffed a motor in these things and they go and see how fast they can go or they drag race out there or whatever. And it's such like a iconic location, you know, it's like,
well, it's the perfect location to do it. There's nothing to hit. You can go as fast as you want and you have plenty of space to slow down.
Well, it's perfectly flat. That's the whole thing is it's like, it's, you know, it's an old dried up lake. So it just flattens itself out absolutely perfect, and that's why they can actually go out there and try and hit 300. I don't even know what they're doing now. I mean,
well, now they're running
400 miles an hour.
I don't they have jet cars that they test?
Yeah,
test up and all that,
yeah,
so.
something like that. Yeah, it's incredible. So I feel like as far as like must go to places in the country for a motorhead, that's up there. I mean, that's like.
I put that top 5 probably.
For me, I think that's like top 3 because I've actually been out on 101. I've been on the Coastal Highway in an old Porsche, which I talked about in one or two of these podcasts ago. So that was like one of the biggest bucket list things that I ever had was just to simply drive it, let alone driving it in a 77 911. That's so cool. But the Salt Flats is something that I have to see because I think it's such a piece of automotive history and it's been a piece of automotive history for so long that I think like you go out there and it's got to just have this sort of like, you know, when you go somewhere that's really historic, it has a feel to it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a life to that place. And you're like, oh my God.
Plenty of historic places.
So much shit has happened here. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been to Alcatraz.
You've been to Alcatraz. Exactly.
Yeah,
well, a lot of shit happened there.
Damn.
Yeah. Are there stains? Is it sketchy? You guys see blood?
There are bullet holes from where a major fight went down between inmates and guards.
Ooh,
and I can't remember how there was like a handful of inmates that lost their life and a couple of guards as well, and they just left everything.
Yeah. Was that when they shut it down?
I think they shut it down a little later after that. So and you can still see the hole in the wall where two guys
man, that's insane.
Carved out, and they climbed out during the night, climbed up through the wall, and attempted to swim to shore, and they never found again. They assumed they just got swept out to sea.
Oh my God, that's so sketchy. Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of brilliant if you think about it. Like,
yeah, it's a prison on an island. You're not gonna go anywhere.
Exactly. What better than to put that out there?
It's like Australia, but smaller.
Yeah, right. Well, and I mean, it worked out pretty good for Australia, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's a pretty badass place to go.
Yeah. See, that's on my bucket list to go to. For talking trips, I'd love to go to Australia.
No kidding. I mean, I'm thinking just like specifically in terms of automotive history stateside, but I 100% agree. I need to see Sydney at some point.
I see. I don't know automotive stateside what's on my bucket list. I am trying to drive in every state. So I've been slowly working on that. I want to drive, not super far, but at least drive something with a motor in every single state.
How many are you short?
A lot.
I think you have your whole life to hit all the spots.
Hey, I got Hawaii. Hawaii is one of the hard ones.
Yeah. Well, you rode that on a scooter, right?
Yeah, we took mopeds around the island.
Yeah, that's so cool. That'd be so fun.
Almost died, but it was totally worth it.
Why did you...
We were coming... So we were on this coastal highway where you had an active volcano on one side and ocean on the other side. Fantastic.
Wow.
Perfect area for a moped. We come around a corner and there's like a scenic overlook. And this dude in the SUV made eye contact with me, looked the opposite direction, looked back at me, and was like, I can pull out in front of you. And he did. And I locked up the brakes on the moped. Jesus. And I honked and I gave him the finger because that's just who I am. And then I'm like, I'm on a moped though, so he didn't take
You
me
didn't just
serious.
turn around and go after him.
There's no way. I think we were doing 35 top speed.
Yeah, I mean it was a rental, wasn't
Yeah.
it? So they probably have governors on it too.
Yeah, you didn't have to have a license for them, so they're the small ones.
Oh, they're 49cc.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So you topped out at 35. I mean, you could have turned around and played the long game and just chased him and just
Try to pick up
drive in his
rocks to
direction.
throw at him as I'm chasing him.
Well, I mean, you could probably throw a rock faster than that thing would go.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of states to drive in yet. Yeah, I mean I've visited a handful, but I haven't driven in a ton. But I'm thinking about getting a different daily driver, which might involve a little bit of travel and driving something back.
Yeah, and if I ever get a bucket list car, we will be traveling probably to the West Coast to buy it and drive it back.
I'm gonna try and check out the Topeka area or Texas. I'm thinking about checking out the Texas area.
Would be a great
because we know somebody. So okay, I'm thinking about picking up a Jeep. I used to
Again?
have a lifted Cherokee. I loved it. Thing had a 4-inch FabTech lift.
Yep.
31s.
Looked great sitting in the mall parking lot.
It did. Iron Rock off-road stuff. I mean, it was a really well set up Jeep, and the problem was I really thought that I was gonna need something different. I thought I needed something safer. I thought I needed better gas mileage, all these things. Basically I built the list in my mind and I was like, I need something that's gonna be a little more cohesive for kids.
You went to stereotypical dad mode.
Right.
Of I can't have anything fun. I gotta be a dad now and be responsible.
Well, I mean, if that were the case, I wouldn't have bought a turbo Subaru. So I went with something
loads of fun.
But it has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, after we rebuilt everything.
After we spent a lot of money on it and built it. Yeah, but I've always missed the Jeep. So here's the funny thing: the Subaru, it's relatively fun in the snow, but it's not as fun as the Jeep, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Because the Jeep, you could go 2-wheel drive everywhere and had a limited slip in the back end of it. So I just went sideways all winter long everywhere. By choice.
You need the best of both worlds. Do what I'm thinking about doing is just lift it.
Yeah, but it still doesn't pitch sideways the same way.
Yeah.
And part of the problem also is just the suspension's a little bit worn, I think, so it sags a teeny bit in the back end of it, so your weight is a little bit off. So when you go to steer and you kind of want to try and flick it, it's a real pain in the ass to get it to kick out. I got it dialed in a little bit last year and kind of figured out how to do it with the car, but it's not the same as the Jeep. It was such a piece of cake with the Jeep.
Was that before or after you nicked the wall?
That was a patch of black ice. I was on I-35. That was oh my god, 7. No, it was 8 a.m. I was going to pick up food and coffee for the family, and so there's a couple of spots on our highway out here. One where it sort of goes up a little, just a little bit of a crest, and right coming off the top side of it, there was super sketchy black ice all over there. There's one car that was already crashed a little ways up ahead, and then there was a cop sitting right there by it, and then there was a couple cars down a little bit further that are all smashed up, and they were just driving slow on the very side to try and get back to safety. And so I come up over this thing driving normal 55 miles an hour, and it just instantly started getting a little sketchy, and I'm counter steering, and it's starting to get a little crazier. And then as I was she was she was pretty sideways at 55 miles an hour. I look a little bit further up ahead of me, and where one of our roads meets up with I-35, because there's an entrance for Masaba Avenue. That's where the cop and that car were parked, and I had just countered, and I was pointing right at him. So I was like, oh, nope. Hit the brakes, cranked the other direction, let it just pitch itself, and then slid sideways toward them and ended up stopping. I mean, it was 30 feet, 25 feet short of them. That was so sketchy. So sketchy. So, yes, that's the incident you're talking about. But, yeah, to get back to the Jeep, I just miss it. It was a lot of fun. I maybe didn't take it off-roading at the off-road park because I didn't have the income to support if I broke the thing.
You're not going to beat the crap out of her daily.
I do now. I can support, if something were to break. So I could potentially play with. I don't know that I would. I might want to build like a dedicated off-road rig for that.
Which we should do.
We should definitely do that. But anyways, to get all the way back to this, I'm thinking about picking up another Jeep. So that might require heading south. And we've got a friend, Rebecca, down in Texas. And she actually bought my old XJ. And she's a part of a Jeeping group down there. So it might be nice to go pick something up rust-free.
That's true.
And bring it back.
And we also have a couple of buddies down in Topeka, Kansas. So if that doesn't work out, we can look there.
Exactly.
Or we could head out west. Got a buddy that lives west.
Yeah. So really we cover all
wherever.
the good spots. So what would be nice is to go to Texas.
Yeah.
Because we haven't driven in any of those states. So it'd be kind of nice to go and get one down there.
No, I don't think I ever drove in Oklahoma.
But you have driven in Texas?
I've been in Texas and Oklahoma, but I was too young to drive.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, well, there we go.
Yeah.
So we'll check those things
I was born
off.
in Texas.
You're born in Texas?
Yeah, don't you know this? Do you not listen to anything I say?
Well, you're not a steer, so...
Well, you know what they say, though. Everything's bigger in Texas. I was born in...
I'm just going to let that one sit and fester.
I was born in Fort Hood, Texas.
Fort Hood?
Yeah, on a military base.
Oh, I just love this photo. Some old school racers.
See, we need to build motorcycles.
Well, I mean, I need to finish one of my many.
Yeah, me too. I have 2 bikes in boxes. And a Grom sitting in the corner now.
That's true. I mean, we both have, like, more bikes than... more bikes that don't run than do run.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 to 1 for me.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Yep. What we have next?
All right.
We saw that. I thought we were moving on. Oh,
Dad
yeah.
moments.
A crapper.
Dad moments. So,
Yep.
go on.
That's a toilet. So,
Explain your dad moment.
my wife and I bought a new house 3 or 4 years ago. And it had just a toilet in the basement. Like, there was obviously another bathroom in the house. But in the basement, it was just a toilet. And all they had was this little kind of divider, and that was it.
All right, I'm gonna stop you here.
Yep.
What do you think are the dimensions of your basement? If you had to guess. 30 by 30?
Probably bigger than that.
Somewhere in there?
Probably, yeah, 40 by 40, 30 by 30, somewhere around there. Yeah.
One of the dimensions is 30. I'm looking at the garage right now to kind of get a baseline.
30 by 30.
30 by 30, right?
Yeah, we'll say 30 by 30.
I get such a kick out of basements that have just like a random toilet sitting in there. So when you're down there taking a crap, because you're used to bathrooms, bathrooms generally aren't bigger than, 10 by 8
6?
at the most. I mean, that's like a massive bathroom. Or if you're a rich motherfucker, you've got some massive walk-in thing with a spa.
You got 3 bathrooms.
All that crap. But us peasants, we have much more average bathrooms.
Definitely a peasant.
Yeah. So I get such a kick out of that idea of like sitting on a crapper in this massive open room. You feel so exposed. Just you alone sitting on a toilet in this huge room.
It's a lot of fun and games.
It's like a dream.
Until the cats are using their litter box and they make eye contact with you. Like, oh, we're both
You're
shitting.
both shitting?
We're both shitting at the same time.
Have you guys ever
lock
been
eyes.
like mid-push, like looking at each other? Is it like a push off? You're just like, who's going to drop it first? No? Okay.
All right.
Well, I guess I'm the only one.
Yep.
So, what are you doing with this thing?
So we're actually turning. Well, me is actually turning it into an actual bathroom. So I took down the chintzy divider that they had, and actually framed in the one side of the wall, and actually replaced that toilet. Last summer, the trap that exits our house actually collapsed, and it backflowed through that toilet. So we just cleaned everything up and removed and threw that toilet out. I was not going to try to fix it.
You weren't going to sit on something that just like backed up everybody's shit in the house?
So we just bagged it and tossed it out.
Ew.
So I put a new toilet in, framed that wall. And the reason why that wall looks really close to the toilet is on the, like, half an inch on the other side of the framing is the main sewer pipe for the house. So I couldn't really position that any differently, which sucks, but it's an emergency bathroom. You know, You're not going to go down there and spend an hour doing your makeup and your hair and all that kind of crap. You're down there because somebody is stinking upstairs.
Yeah. So you had to make the wall that close.
I had to.
You had to. That's such a shame.
Yeah.
You should have like had a little bit of a cutout for your arm. There's like a little pocket that's just sort of arm. As you can reach back and not be like rubbing against the wall.
It's not that bad. I tried it. Like, yeah, it's uncomfortable, but if you're only down there for 10 or 15 minutes, you're fine. So on
Do you sit on the toilet like sideways and
you can sit and not touch that wall actually, as long as you're
Can
not
you?
like as wide open as possible.
yeah,
You're fine.
it's feasible.
Yep.
Huh? Okay.
So on the opposite side, I actually this last week started working on it again and framed in the other side of the wall. I added a sink that is functional. Previous owner
Yeah.
put in PEX piping, so I tied it into their manifold and ran new piping over. Added a new vanity and sink, and then the drain goes through the wall, and then on the other side of that wall used to be an old utility sink we never used, like the one
Nice.
that's like cast iron heavy.
Oh
utility
yeah,
sinks,
those big boys. Yeah.
which reminds me, you need to come over and help me haul that out of the house.
Yeah. I do kind of owe you. You've helped haul a lot of crap around my place.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
And didn't you use my lawnmower for like 3 years?
I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
then. So we removed that sink, and then I just tied the new sink into the old cast iron pipe that went out, and now we have a working sink down there, so you can wash your hands after you do your business.
Yeah, sweet.
Yep. So all that's left, I
Sweet.
have to paint it, cut a little bit of the sheetrock, and then add trim and a door, and it is done.
Is Dunsey.
Yep. I had to wire in a light as well. Which
Are
is
you
really
gonna?
simple.
So you're not gonna do any drywalling? You're just gonna leave the fasteners and the seams
That's
and all
what
that
trim
stuff.
work is for. If you notice in the other picture,
Okay.
the trim perfectly hides all the seams and screws.
Okay, I see what you're doing.
Because I've never mudded drywall or anything like that, and everyone tells me it absolutely sucks.
Oh, I have.
So I decided not to do it because it's a basement
Yeah,
bathroom.
it's fine.
Yeah, it's for when you guys are over and I'm upstairs doing my business and you really have to pee.
I gotta go drop a deuce.
There you go.
So what I'll probably be sharing, I think next week or the week after, it'll be a dad moment or it'll be just something else I'll explain.
Yeah,
But
this is my dad moment. I actually didn't spend time with my kids for once. I built a bathroom.
nice. So I'm in the middle of a remodel. I think I alluded to that earlier. I'm remodeling the master bedroom right now and talking about drywall mudding. So I not only did I do some drywalling, but I did skim coating on the main bedroom, and then on the walk-in closet I did sheetrocking. I've got some pictures to share, before and afters, and all that stuff. I was doing the flooring today.
Well, I'm gonna have to learn all of that because after this project, I think I'm gonna start working on the attic slowly.
I think we should do a build series on
That's
that.
gonna
honestly.
be a big project.
So I remember reading I think it was like 2 years ago. There was I'm not sure who did it, if it was like Popular Mechanics or if it was like one of those publications that talks about like housework. But they were talking about like the things that yield the best return when it comes to like improvements on your house. And a 3rd-story master bedroom was number 1. So as far
That's
as
good to
like
know.
big return on investment, like you might be able to actually return more than you put into it. So if you spend $10,000 on building the room, you might see $15,000, $20,000 returned in terms of equity on your house.
that's good. Yeah, because that's
So-
it's so much more square footage that you consider livable now.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing is like you want to factor in, because it's 3rd story, so generally the windows are really small. So you want to factor for things like that, but really it's not that challenging of a task. It's just how tight's the ceiling, how's your vaulting going to work, how are you going to insulate it, how are you going to get heat, how are you going to get electrical. So it's a challenge, but I don't think it'll be too bad for us to do.
Yeah, and I think
Heating is going to be the trickiest part for you.
baseboard heating. I think is what I'm gonna do.
It's expensive.
Is it?
Baseboard, yeah, electrical baseboard's really expensive. It can be expensive. If you go up there in the middle of winter, is it the temperature of outside?
Yes and no. It is colder, but that's because the insulation is currently sitting down. It's not up in the ceiling.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, then it would be the temp outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's cold.
Yeah, so with some good insulation, you might actually get enough radiant heat up through the floor that it'll
it's
help.
pretty warm.
And then you might be able to do baseboard. That's something we'll have to look into. But you have a boiler, right? Yeah, so if you have a boiler, if you can run electrical, you can run like PEX for the boiler. So potentially we might be able to put an actual register or two up there.
Which we have a spare one, I believe.
So we'll dig into that
Yeah.
another time
So,
and decide if that's going to be a build series. That might be kind of cool, though. Pimp out a third story
Yeah, and
master
that's going to be a
bedroom.
learning experience for me. So this bathroom is the first room I've ever built. Ever. I've never
kidding.
framed in walls. I've never hung sheetrock. I've never done plumbing.
Did you
anything
use
like that.
green treated on the
Yes.
floor
Yep.
or on the base?
Green treated on the floor. The walls are cemented to the joists up above, and the bottom of them are actually secured through the concrete in the basement.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So they're
nice.
extremely sturdy. If the kids go down
That's
there and
good.
slam the door or anything like that.
So when you close the door to the room, it it doesn't like shake the walls.
Exactly. You can turn on when you turn on the faucet, you don't hear vibration or anything.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah. So that was their very first time building the room, huh?
Yeah, it's
Nice.
fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well,
Woodworking can be a lot of fun.
I
Housework.
enjoyed it except for the constant trips to Menards because I always forgot something.
Oh, right.
Or like I went to go buy the pecs and I get home and I open them up and I measure it out and make my cut, measure long, cut it, go to hook it up to the manifold and somebody put 3/4 in the 1/2-inch file. So I had to go back to Menards and return it, get the 1/2 inch, and
So you actually have like the crimper?
I bought the crimper as well for this project.
Oh, nice.
I didn't have it,
I'll have
but
to remember that.
yeah, it was like $60 I think for the
Because
crimper.
I've always just sweated in copper.
No. I bought the crimper. My thought was odds are this might be the only time I ever use it. But if for some reason I need it,
I'll borrow it.
have it.
Like I'll use it.
Oh, 30
I'm
bucks.
excited to
30
do
bucks you
packs.
can borrow it.
Where are all these bugs coming from?
Over there.
I don't know. We must have must have a gap in this place somewhere.
Yeah, the
Okay.
space between your ears.
I guess. All right. So
Yeah, what's your dad moment?
my dad moment. Do I have a dad moment?
Were you even a dad this week?
I was kind of a dad this week. Hey. All right.
Look how you took a really artsy photo for this too.
Well, and here's the ironic thing is like it's not a super artsy photo. It's actually like so my little dude, he's 2 years and 3 months old. I'm not going to do exact math, almost 3 months old. So much personality comes out. I mean, it's constant. Like it's such a progressive thing where like the personality just continues to kind of come out of these kids as they get older and older. And like 2 is such an awesome age. So this kid is just an absolute car nut. And like what I got such a kick out of it because this is all the stuff that he had left out when he was playing the other day in the living room. And these were the specific items that he had like left out from his crazy playness. So
I like the pile of rocks.
Pile rocks and sticks. Like he loves collecting like random rocks and sticks. And like he'll walk by a driveway and he'll pick out specific rocks and be like, I really like this rock. And it won't look like anything special, but every once in a while he grabs something that's super cool. It's usually concrete with something in it.
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
Yeah, and I made fun of you. I made fun of your kids. It comes full circle. But what's so funny is this kid is so obsessed with cars. Like he's got his toy cars, and his very first toy car thing was this blue truck, which is actually a planter. You're supposed to put plants in that. Or flour. Loves this thing. It's beat to shit now because he's such a spaz. But he's obsessed with my my Haggerty magazines. So I get these because this thing's insured with Haggerty. And he goes nuts when these things come in. Like it's his favorite thing. Like he just loves to like rifle through the pages and he squeals and squawks about all the different cars that are in it and stuff.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I mean, part of why, like we were talking about the Bonneville Salt Flats earlier, actually in this particular publication, they're talking about beach racing, and it got me thinking about the Salt Flats a little bit. So it's pretty sweet.
That is one, not necessarily bucket list thing, but something I have seen.
Yeah?
Daytona Beach.
Oh, go down Daytona Beach.
We walked on Daytona Beach, and that's cool for the history aspect.
They race down there, don't they?
They might do like a special event, but it was just parking. And it was like $30 to park your car on there.
Park it on the beach.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah, it was kind of a letdown.
Was it?
It was
Okay.
very much a letdown. Anyways, continue.
Well, that's Florida for you.
Florida man.
Florida man. Yeah. So, this is my dad moment was when I came downstairs and I saw that sitting out, and
That's
so I
super cool.
grabbed the dune buggy and I grabbed the magazine. I set them there because it was all just kind of strewn out on the couch.
Yeah,
So I got little man a tricycle this week. So Radio Flyer makes basically all the old school stuff still. They still make the actual Radio Flyer wagon, and they make the Radio Flyer tricycles in metal. So they're like modern repops of all the old ones. So I was gonna do some painting on this one, but I thought I don't want to risk wasting time.
Yeah,
I need to get this thing in his hands as soon as possible.
he's gonna beat the crap out of it anyways.
Exactly. So this is his first day with it, and little man was so he was just in awe. He wasn't super squealy or really loud or whatever. He was just sort of intrigued by it. And so he's got the thing and he's spinning the wheels and he's figuring it out. And he has a little bit of words. He talks a little bit, but not a ton. And we do a lot of sign language with him because he knows sign language is super good. And so this is the sign for bicycle. So basically you recreate the pedals with your hands, right? And I showed him that, and then he figured it out, and he was like, oh, this is a bike. So he was excited to get on the thing and kind of try and keep his feet on it and figure it out. I ended up pushing him around
He kind
a
of
bunch.
pull himself with his legs.
A little bit. He's still kind of figuring a lot of that out, but it was really exciting to see the kid on his first bike, basically. This is his first two-wheeled, self-powered little mode of transportation, and see him kind of get familiar with it and whatever. Yeah, kind of bond with it.
And a week later, he's gonna be building jumps in the backyard and stuff like that.
I hope so. I hope so. That's why we got him a helmet.
He's gonna be racing down the hill and stuff out into the street and
pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, he used it a bunch today. We got it. Oh man, what day did we get him for him? Tuesday. I think he had it on Tuesday.
That's awesome, though.
Monday. So he had one day where he couldn't because he was busy. And he's been on it pretty much every day. So far, so good.
Yeah, he'll get plenty of use out of that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is a good beer.
You want another? You're going to be up all
It's
night.
a lot of...
There's a lot of... No, we can keep moving on.
Well, and I might run in because I've got a beer inside. Because I want another beer, but I don't want that much coffee at this time of the day.
Puts hair in your chest.
I think that's everything.
Is that everything?
That's everything I got.
I did forget to tell you one other moment that I never took pictures of. And you'll appreciate this.
Oh, yeah?
A lot. You'll never guess what Harper's been watching all week. What's the least appropriate kids movie for kids?
Least appropriate kids movie for kids?
Inappropriate kids movie for kids.
That's a very specific thing. What is least appropriate kids movie for kids?
Yeah, it's even on Disney Plus.
Team America World Police?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good choice.
I don't know. It's on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Disney Plus. Least appropriate kids movie.
I'll give you a hint.
That is
It's
for
one of
kids.
your favorite films. She's been
Half Baked? What?
She's been watching A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, well, that's not inappropriate.
It's scarier than hell for a 4-year-old.
That's scary for a 4-year-old?
I'm shocked it did not terrify her.
I haven't looked at that through the lens of a child ever.
Yeah,
so
as,
I don't
as
know.
an
I grew
adult,
up
I'm
with
like,
it too.
okay, this is really cool.
It's scary.
But for a 4-year-old, I don't think... I was expecting her to be scared and not want to watch it, and she loves the stupid film.
Oh, good. That's a very good thing. Yes, I love that. It's in my top 3 favorites. Wow,
All the monsters?
I don't consider that scary, but then again, I mean, I saw it in the theaters when it came out. I was the age to go and see that.
The scene where the mad scientist guy takes half of his brain out of his own head and puts it in
Okay.
I'm sitting there okay, cool. This is what's going to scare her. She's not going to watch this. And she just kept watching it and then started laughing later on and stuff. Not
You know
that
what's funny?
particular scene, but...
as you continue to describe the scenes in this movie, I might have these aha moments like, oh yeah, okay, that could be kind of creepy. Like when Oogie Boogie like gets the thread caught on like I don't even know what the carousel or whatever it was, and it starts like peeling them out, and all those bugs fall out.
Yeah, it's
that could be a little creepy.
Or even in the intro of the movie, the trees kind of walking out into the street, and it's got 6 skeletons hanging by their necks from the branches.
It's true.
Yeah, I thought, okay, cool. She'll watch 10 minutes of this and be scared, and no, she freaking loved it.
Oh man, yeah, man, that's cool. Okay. I'm gonna have to watch that again one of these days and think about it in that terms.
Watch it sober.
Man, yeah. Okay, I could probably see how that'd be a little creepy. I mean, I was kind of a weird kid, and I didn't see it at that age.
It is claymation, which probably makes it a little bit easier. But it's like the female. I can't think of the Sally.
Sally,
yeah. It's like her arm falls off at one point in time.
Yeah, and her leg.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, just to sew herself back together. That's super cool.
Like, okay, this is going to give the kid nightmares. And she slept just fine. She woke up by herself, went downstairs, turned it on, and kept watching it.
That's pretty cool, man.
So,
I mean, it's a good movie.
I don't know if that's a happy dad moment or just a moment.
Just a moment. Never the moment. Yeah, man. I can dig it. I'm really thinking about running in to get a beer.
If you do that, I'm going to open up another one.
Yeah, you probably should.
Don't trip over all the cables. Or the lunchbox.
While
or me.
I run in, are you able to entertain the people?
You got a deck of cards?
Need something to juggle? All right. Need a beer fridge.
I have a cooler. Yeah, so I'm supposed to entertain you, but I'm not very entertaining by myself. My special skills include drinking beer and being socially awkward. I don't know why he just doesn't nut up and have another good Java beer. I don't think there's even that much coffee in this. And he's not the one that's got to be up at 5. It doesn't say.
All right, I'll return.
That was way quicker than I expected.
Uh-oh.
You got that?
In the car.
I can't move, otherwise it throws off the audio.
Can't have that.
No, we spent 45 minutes trying to figure out audio tonight.
We did. Well, it's because we are trying to use 2 microphones. Using 2 microphones.
We are trying to improve ourselves.
We are. The little self-improvement is masturbation. You guys will find that we have references, many a reference to Fight Club and The Big Lebowski and other things.
It's pretty much just any movie. I'm a movie nut.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, if you were to walk into my house, one of the first things you would see is our movie room. Mm-hmm. And by movie room, I mean like dedicated couch, drop-down screen.
It's a sex room.
We do have some good sex in there. And then a wall of like 900 DVDs that are alphabetized.
900?
I think we're up to like 900 now.
You're up to 900.
I haven't last time I counted, we were at least 800.
Buddy, that is hoarding.
No, it's not. It's a collection.
That is hoarding.
It's a library.
It's a library.
We have a library.
That's a library.
That's not hoarding. How many motorcycle frames do you have sitting outside of this place?
Don't worry about it. 900. Wife will say 900.
No, it's a hobby that the wife and I both enjoy. We both enjoy movies.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a good way to pass the time.
It's a good way not to deal with BS all the time. Like not deal with this. Just space off for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, everybody's got their ways of coping with existence.
Yeah,
and
you rub one out and I watch a movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little less maladaptive than what you could do. Exactly. All right, so do we want to jump into the marketplace finds of the week?
We probably should.
Man. All right. We'll preface by explaining what the marketplace finds are.
So, marketplace finds are things we find in the marketplace.
All right, perfect. So what we got first here?
This is a 1960 Jeep Willys that I popped up like 30 minutes after our last podcast. I found something. I uploaded it already.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And It's an old Jeep. Like, enough said. Does it even matter? I mean, if there's no floor, no glass, nothing, it's still an old Jeep, and it would be totally awesome to pick up.
Yeah, really. I know I've got a soft spot for pretty much everything that's old Jeep.
Anything old?
Yeah.
Old cars in general are awesome. I think once you get to like 65 and older, I'm not too picky. I think they're just all cool. I don't know much about them, but I think they're cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I agree.
These old Willys, you don't see them anymore.
You don't see a ton of them. No.
I think there's one in town that's restored, if I remember right.
Yeah, there's one or two. Well, actually, I know of two for sure because we've got a cider house that has a perfectly restored one. I think is like their delivery vehicle or something like that.
That's a hell of a delivery vehicle.
Yeah, and there's one that's like really wild build. It's got like green tinted glass and it's all like a crazy neon green color. And
it's like a metallic neon green.
Kind of resto moddy.
And it has the wood paneling on the side of it.
Yeah.
The chrome wheels.
Pretty wild looking, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree though, and this thing was pretty special because didn't it have like a Ford motor or something like that in it?
I think so. I read this.
Yeah.
Actually, it would have been
289.
2 weeks ago. Not even a week ago.
Yeah, so this thing's got a 289 in it, which would be a lot of fun. Because I mean, I don't know what they had originally.
So
no idea,
cool.
but
no clue.
pretty sweet.
All I know is they look super sweet, and if money wasn't an option, I'd have a
Okay,
yard full
so
of crap.
what if you had this thing? What would you do? Like if you were to buy this thing, let's say that you've got 10 G's to sink into it. You buy the thing for $2,500. What would you do to it?
I don't know. I'd probably just restore it and drive it. To be honest, I don't know if I'd do anything too crazy.
Okay, more details. Like, what would you do? What powertrain would you run?
I would keep it Jeep. I'd do the inline 6, the 4-liter.
Oh, nice. Okay.
With a 5-speed.
Okay.
I think they are kind of fun to drive that way.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, I would take any 90s Wrangler and I'd just swap everything over and then just clean everything else up. Just paint it, make it look nice.
That's super cool.
I wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, that would be
anything
fun.
crazy. Just make it a good, reliable daily driver.
Right. Yeah, and the 4-liter is about as reliable as you get.
Yeah,
like it's hilarious that like it's a bulletproof motor that sounds like you dropped a bucket of marbles in it because there's so much lift or clatter.
Your old Jeep, I mean, I helped you work on that back in the day, and it stupid simple to work on.
Yeah, very very simple.
Very easy.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean like the drivetrain is cake. I mean, yeah, the motor is fairly simple. The AW4 auto transmissions are bulletproof and they handle pretty much everything. Very, very simple to work on. A million of those things. Like they use that drivetrain for, oh man, a long time.
The entire 90s.
Yeah, from the 80s. Like 84 is when they debuted.
84-ish to like 2005?
2001.
2001?
Yeah, but
was
like the 4-liter and AW4,
they ran a little bit longer
they
than
might
that.
go longer. They might have used that in the Grand Cherokee a little bit longer, but I'm not sure. Honestly, don't quote me.
So if you had 10 grand, what would you be doing to this thing?
What would I do?
Sell it and buy something else?
10,000.
Sell it so you have $12,500?
Yeah, right. No, I definitely, I love these things. You know, I think if I were to do it, I'd probably do like a 4BT Cummins motor. Ooh. Yeah, I'd probably do a 4BT just because I don't think there's a ton of room under the hood, so you could probably fit the 4BT. 6BT would be awesome, don't get me wrong, but that's a big motor.
I'm not sure
crazy
how big
big.
bays are on these.
So either the 4BT or maybe a 318 Dodge motor. And then
That'd be a good motor.
either a 5-speed or, I don't know, like a... Yeah, ideally, like a 4 or 5-speed, something like that. But I agree. Like, I mean, I'd build the thing just so that it just functions. Yeah. Basically, like, I just want it to be like a fun... take it out to the trails if you wanted to. Not something that you're meant to like go bouncing off rocks or anything like that, but just something that can get out of its own way. It can drive through the swamps.
You can go play in the woods. You're just not going to climb the mountain with it.
Mm-hmm. And if he'll climb a little bit of the mountain, I wouldn't mind that.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
A little bit of it, yeah. Yeah, it's just a little more my style. But yeah, I absolutely love these things. I love the style of them. I don't know. I love the history of them too. I mean, the Willys Jeeps, like someday I'm gonna have an actual Willys Jeep, like the Jeep. the World War II looking Jeeps, but I want to get one and I want to slam it.
Yeah, isn't that a very popular thing to do in Vietnam?
Not in Vietnam, in Puerto Rico.
Okay,
I believe. I think that's where they're doing it a
why
ton.
I was thinking Vietnam. Vietnam's all about motorcycles.
Yeah, I think it's Puerto Rico. So they're just a dime a dozen down there, down in that area.
Yeah, they just slam them.
And what they do is, they'll slam these things, and then they'll put like a Japanese motor in them, or they might run the original 4-banger.
If I remember correctly, there's a Super Street article that was out about one.
Yes.
That was slammed, and I think it had an SR20 under the hood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the inspiration for it.
They're so cool. And
what I love about it is it just looks like a fun pavement pounder for going to the beach. You're not like going onto the beach because you're probably not going to get too far.
You're pulling up to the beach.
But you're parking in a parking spot by the beach.
Yeah, you can see the beach from where you parked the Jeep.
Exactly. That I'm into. Big time. Yeah, so that's sort of like eventually I'd like us to build something like that. But I mean, I don't know, like we both want to do air cools eventually too, and I feel like that's going to end up before it. So I don't know.
The way I look at it is after we get past the 3 big projects we have, everything's fair game. Let's just build whatever we want to build because there's so many different things we both want to build.
I know. That's a disease.
I got in a conversation with a buddy at work today about building all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Civic EG hatches.
Okay.
Because he's got a buddy that apparently did a Wago van swap on his hatch. And I told him, like, well, that sounds super cool, but that's the wrong way to do it. You go with the CRV stuff because they're easier to find. And I believe they're a little bit more stout than the Wago van stuff.
Here's the funny thing. The rear end in the CRV is built to only handle 50% of the weight of the vehicle. The rear end in the Wago van is built to handle 100% of the weight of the vehicle.
I thought the Wago van stuff, though, it's like virtually impossible to find nowadays, though.
It's hard. What's funny is I had a rear end not too long ago from just leftover. I used to own a couple Wago vans. Mm-hmm. And I had a spare RT 4-wheel drive transmission, which is like unobtainium. And mine was a RT 4-wheel drive as well. I gotta regret getting rid of it. It was so cool. I rebuilt it. It had the D16 non-VTEC motor in it. It was really peppy for its like 125 horse.
We have a D16 sitting over at my place you can have.
Yes. Okay. And so I didn't want to tear the motor out when I had to rebuild it because I bought it running like garbage, knowing that it was going to need some love.
I see a theme here with your car purchases. By the way.
I know, right? But I got that thing for cheap. It was like $400. That was a pretty damn good price, right? So I scooped this thing up, and I ended up buying a second one. I think I actually might have gotten the both of them for like $500 or something like that. It was a really good price, and they were both RT 4-wheel drives. But so I got the one, and I remember I drove the thing for like a week, and it had like a sticky brake on it, and as the brake was starting to stick, the blow-by was getting worse and worse, so the rings were getting worse and worse, until it was to the point where like it was just black. It was like a diesel. It was just like soot coming out the back. So I was like, okay, we're going to rebuild this thing. Brought it over to my buddy Locks and tore it all down. I remember popping the pistons out, and one of them had wet, caked oil on the top of it.
Oh, man.
It had so much blow-by that not only did it have the buildup on the piston, but it literally had a wet, caked chunk on the top, like a layer.
Oh, that's nasty.
So we rebuilt it with brand new pistons, rings, bearings, but we did it with the motor in the car. So we didn't even pull the motor out of the thing.
They're stupid simple to work on.
They're really simple, and taking out the all-wheel drive would have meant, like, because they've got like a little baby transfer case on the back side of the trans. It was just more screwing around. So we're like, screw it. Let's see if we could build this thing in the car.
Drop the pan, and it's all right there.
Yeah, that's literally what we did. Popped everything out the top of it, rebuilt it all, tossed the new bearings into it. It was a laugh.
You
Like,
spent
it worked.
$200 on everything and a weekend, and you call it a good.
I think it was like $400 when all is said and
Still
done.
not that bad to rebuild a motor.
And that's because like I got quality stuff. Like it was a quality pistons,
the fact that you
quality
have to justify
rings.
spending $400 on quality stuff tells you how cheap Honda's.
Yeah, well, and that was all the internal components. Like the gaskets were a few bucks more and whatever, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. So yeah, we got it back together, rebuilt it, and I mean, as far as I know, it's still running to this day. I mean, it was cool. Like, I have a specific break-in process for Hondas, and it's worked amazing every single time.
Just beat the piss out of them.
Kind of. It's like progressively beating the shit out of them. Progressively. Like, you don't just like, first start up, let it get to operating temperature and do a burnout. That might work, but I haven't done that. But I won't bore you guys with how I do it. But anyways, it's worked out amazing. Like, every single thing, including motorcycles, have all ran at like 180-ish PSI on all the cylinders afterwards. So anyway, Wago van.
Yep.
Yes. So yes, those things actually are pretty stout drivetrains. There's a handful of people that have turboed those things, and as long as you preload when you launch, they'll actually tolerate a fair amount of abuse.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need unlimited time and money.
Yeah, so I don't know how we got on this topic.
Talking about building
EG
whatever
hatch.
we want to build. Yeah, EG hatches.
EG hatches.
So what's your marketplace find?
Yep.
Oh no, we're
hey,
selling
there's
those.
your rear end. Or interior. All right, so my marketplace find of the week. I challenge anybody to find a better marketplace find than this one.
God, how much are they asking for that?
$500.
Oh, I have $500. We should go buy a Volvo.
It's close. It's close.
How close?
It's in Canyon, Minnesota. It is 40 minutes away, 35 minutes away.
Babe,
Okay.
Babe, if you're watching this, do you care if I bring another car home?
So this is cool. This is before the 240, just before the 240s. $500,
Man, that's a
78,000
steal.
original miles, doesn't run. But it's been sitting.
cares?
It's been stored.
So, but it's a Volvo.
It's a Volvo. Yeah, I could not believe this. I almost thought that the ad was fake until like I dug into the person who's selling it and stuff, and I was like,
so
"Oh, this is a real person."
You asked them if they take $400 for it.
No, I just did like a little bit of Facebook creeping.
Where's this post? Is this on Marketplace?
This is on Marketplace
so this
right
isn't
now.
like Euro.
No joke.
Stuff?
This is an actual. This is real. This is a car that's
God.
on Marketplace right now.
Do you have
for
any more pictures?
$500. Yes.
Oh man, she would kill me if I came home with another car.
Right? Look at how look, it's like
so
mint.
clean.
I don't know how it's $500, but honestly, like when I found this thing, I thought about sending you a link to it and being like, "Do we need to go get this?"
Yes.
Because I mean, that's
Where do we
Wow.
park it? Okay, so who wants to buy the Civic? Because we're buying a Volvo.
oh man,
We need to buy the.
Yeah.
We need to buy this.
yeah, 78,000 original miles on it.
I bet
It just doesn't run.
I bet you it's something stupid simple.
Yeah,
Fuel filter, new
B30
plugs.
6-cylinder, Arizona car, very little rust, stored for 10 years.
Oh God, yeah,
Okay, after the podcast, maybe we'll talk about it.
yeah. This is gonna be a much longer conversation than what we have on the podcast.
I mean, we got too many toys already, though. That's the
Do
trouble.
we? Dude, I think we could justify buying an
I
old
know.
Volvo.
It's like we
though.
might have to get storage to sit on this one. I think we just found our fourth build.
Yeah, we could sell the other project car I have sitting in my house and pick this up instead.
No.
Why not?
No, because that
not?
is not becoming our drift car.
I could do burnouts though.
Can it?
Eventually, if we
I don't know.
swap something
I
else
don't
into
know.
it.
I don't want to have to put like an 8-inch in the back and an LS up front and like.
Fair enough.
Or even though we're gonna have to do that to the other car that's
So
in the
what would you-
driveway.
So what would you do? Yeah, exactly. What would you do to that then? Just bag it and drive it slow and dirty.
Honestly, dude. Honestly, I would probably just like. I'd probably get the 6-cylinder running
And just cruise it.
and just cruise it.
Yeah. It's so cool.
Put a really nice set of wheels on it. Something that fills the fender wells a little bit better.
Yep.
And just drive it. Probably. It's cool. It's got a lot
very
of
cool.
style to it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean,
It's
where
got
do you,
that classic 70s
where do you find a
look to
car
it.
that mint?
Yeah.
I don't know.
For $500.
$500. Yep.
Man.
78,000 original miles. Isn't that just nuts?
We might have to do. We do have a 3-day weekend. We could road trip it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
I don't know if this whole Facebook Marketplace thing is a good idea anymore.
I know, we keep finding these cars where it's like, oh my god.
We should go pick that up.
Here's the thing, like, we know that we're already on Marketplace way too much.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, like, why not? Why not? Like, let's just, we'll have the segment, we'll share the things, maybe we'll make a bad decision. I mean, $500 isn't much. Like,
No, that's $250 a person.
I mean, I could buy, like,
I could swing $250.
20 of those things. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's
Maybe. You guys might be seeing history.
Here's the thing.
You might be seeing a stupid decision taking place in real time.
What's holding me back from just going there now and picking it up, other than working tomorrow?
The fact that you had a couple of drinks and it's 9 o'clock at night.
No, that's not even a factor.
You get an Uber. I need an Uber up to Canyon, Minnesota. We'll push it back.
It's just simply a place to put it.
I know.
If I didn't have a car sitting in front of my house and in my driveway right now, I would be really tempted to be
Yeah.
road trip.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. What's next? We should change
What's
topics
next?
before we talk ourselves into buying a Volvo.
Oh man, what have you been listening to this week?
I've been listening to Ginger.
Ginger? Not like what?
Jinjer.
Oh, that's the okay. That's the metal
a video.
chick. Yeah,
I sent you a video. I don't know if you watched it.
I was pretty put off.
I
loved it.
It's so
Don't get me
good.
wrong, I loved it. But as soon as she started screaming, I was like, "Oh my god, I don't know how I feel about this." So Ginger is like a metal band,
I believe,
where the lead singer sounds like Evanescence,
yes,
but screams like Corey Taylor.
Heavier than Corey Taylor.
Yeah.
She sounds like Evanescence and screams like she's part of Meshuggah.
There it is.
Or Campbell Corpse. Like, just super heavy.
It's crazy. You hear her scream
Her
and
range
you're like,
is nuts.
wait a minute here. This is
so
a dude?
They're
This is a dude.
They're from the Ukraine, I believe. And yeah,
Of course they're from the Ukraine.
she's got a gorgeous singing voice to her. And then, yeah, the chorus, she just lets it loose. My buddy Glenn, who I work with, yesterday at work, we were listening. He came over to talk to me. And I think Lamb of God was playing. I can't remember who was playing. Maybe August Burns Red.
Yeah.
He's like, I see you have your happy music on. And so I kind of played a little bit of a prank on him, and I switched it to one of Ginger's songs. And it starts off with her singing the very clean, beautiful vocals. I'm like, okay, fine. Is this better? He's like, oh yeah, I could dig this. Glenn hates metal music. And then it gets to the chorus and the heavy riffs and all that, and she just screams. And he's like, oh man, I liked it until that dude started singing. I'm like, dude, that's the same chick. Like that's her screaming.
That's amazing.
I had to show him the music video because he didn't believe me. I'm like, yeah, see,
Jesus
it's her.
Christ.
She does all the vocals.
Oh man, that is so funny.
That's what I've been listening to this week.
Wow.
Primarily. A
Wow.
little bit of Outkast in there just for good measure.
Outkast, which
Yeah.
album?
All of them. Like I like a lot of their music.
Favorite album? Favorite song?
Oof. International Players Anthem's really good.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's probably one of my favorites to listen to in the car, just because of the bass. Roses is a lot of fun. My favorite song is probably B.O.B.
Oh, Bombs Over Baghdad?
Yeah, that's probably
I
my
love the
favorite.
energy of that song.
That's the first album of theirs I owned, and like the third or
Yeah.
fourth album I had growing up. And it also has Rosa Parks on
Yeah,
it.
I know.
It's a good album.
It is a good album. Is Rosa Parks on that one? I thought that was on the one before that. I thought it was on AT Aliens.
I don't think it was on AT Aliens.
Okay. Yeah,
so
I
it's been
love
it's
I
been a
love
mix
Outkast.
of Ginger and Outcasts the last few days.
Okay, so have you listened to Hey Ya? I mean,
Yes.
you've heard Hey Ya
Yes.
probably a million times, right?
Oh yeah, that's one
You
of my
ever
wife's
read the
favorite
lyrics for that?
songs. No.
That is it's the happiest sounding song with some heavy lyrics.
Are we talking like happy, like Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People?
Yeah, no, like, well, yeah, Hey Ya, you've heard it
yeah.
before. Yeah, it's a super happy sounding song, but if you read the lyrics to it, it's some heavy shit. It's like the whole talking about the failure of relationships and
Yeah.
you know, I won't give it away because I think you guys should go and like look up the lyrics of this and
It is a fantastic song.
give it a try.
What?
Oh man,
Well, see,
it's
what
so
made,
good.
What made that album cool though is they kind of did a two-parter. Because Andre 3000 did half of it, I believe, as like the lead vocals, and then Big Boy did the other half.
Yeah.
As a speaker box and the Love Below.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
If I can remember my hip hop music.
Yeah, that's really good. You're more in tune than I thought you'd be. That's cool. So I have a growing appreciation for Andre 3000 just because the more that I learn about it, the more I'm like, oh, like there's a lot to this guy. Like he's a really unique dude.
He can act really well too.
Brilliant.
Oh, he was in I think Four Brothers with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, really?
I think he's in that.
That's
one,
awesome.
if I remember correctly.
Huh.
I haven't seen it for
Right on.
ages.
He did a podcast with Rick Rubin that was so interesting. Just listening to that guy talk about the music industry and his experiences, and it was so good.
Well, for the longest time, they played off of like that southern hip hop sound, and then they got really, really big, and then they kind of used that to like promote heavier topics.
Yeah, exactly. I know that's the best. So what's been on my playlist lately? So I've been hooked on Run the Jewels for a while now. Like that's.
I'm not listening to Run the Jewels.
Oh man, they are. Run the Jewels is. How do I explain them? So they're almost like they're aggressive rap, aggressive hip hop.
Okay.
Really, really intelligent lyrics. Really phenomenal lyrics. Amazing flow. Just like the beats, the production, phenomenal.
Are we talking, when you say beats, are we talking like that stereotypical kind of snare drum sounding beats? Or are we talking very creative?
Very, very creative.
Okay.
Yeah.
The snare drum stuff kind of...
So they had an album that just dropped not too long ago, and they had a song that came out that's called Ooh La La, and it's so good. It's really good. It's the trouble is like we wish that we could share the songs that we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's the part of the problem here.
Which we could, but
we'll get flagged.
Yeah, we could run into
stuff.
some legal issues.
Yeah, and you get the risk of like having it taken down and that sort of thing. But so Run the Jewels has been on my playlist.
We don't want to ruin the podcast for the three of you that do watch it. So.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's been mostly Run the Jewels, and then of course a little bit of iRob, which you guys will see soon enough here.
Hell yeah.
Looks like we're a little over an hour and 12 minutes into this thing. So, let's see what else we got. What else we got coming up here?
We do have a car show coming up later this month on September 20th, which you won't be there.
Most likely won't be there. My wife hopes I won't be there.
I'm going to say no because I'm going to just assume he's a good, loving husband who wants to spend time with his wife and new daughter.
Mostly. Okay, so wife is due on the 18th, so we'll see. I mean, you never know. It could go a little bit longer.
It could. I'm going to laugh. I kind of hope your daughter's born on my birthday. Kind of.
It's a good chance. My birthday is on the 21st.
Yeah, mine's the 22nd.
Yeah.
And I think it'd just be kind of funny if your daughter's got my birthday.
That would make going to concerts on her birthdays kind of tricky.
No, when I just like, kid, I was here first.
I made you. I can do whatever I want.
Well, you made her. I will just be like, hey, little kid.
Hey, child, I was here first.
I've known your dad longer.
Yeah.
You stay home with mom. We're going to go drink and go see...
Coheed and Cambria.
Which, they canceled. I got really sad about that.
I know. I was pretty sad about it, too.
So, Coheed and Cambria was supposed to be my daughter's first concert because she's obsessed with them. She loves their song Old Flames. And then they canceled, which I get because of all the pandemic stuff. This year sucks. We need more happy stuff.
Large Janice. Well, what's going on, party peoples? Christine chimed in. And,
yes, I can't remember what I asked.
I don't know what you asked. She's here, present and accounted for. Punk IPA, Large Janice. Been on? Is that the brand? Huh, Punk IPA.
That sounds good.
That sounds really good. I just love IPAs and I love punks, so that sounds pretty great.
Oh, I asked if I could get another car.
Oh, she signed off on the...
I think she signed off on the Volvo.
Oh, shit. Okay.
All right, so it's a good night, and...
Yeah, right. We got to head to the bank. I got about $1.20 in my pocket.
Ooh, I got my debit card.
I got a big stack of cash. Let's go. All right.
Should we? You don't want to put the container up on the table?
All right. So let's cover the dollars. All right. Before I look at it,
You want to fix the screen?
huh?
Fix the screen?
What, I'm supposed to show them
No, like make the screen big so that way.
so that people can see?
Yeah.
Machines and Caffeine, the 20th of September. That's not actually going to be the last one. We're going to have one more after that.
Yep. So long as the weather cooperates. As always, teaming up with the Back Alley. I'll be down there on Michigan Street?
Superior
Street. I get the two mixed.
I don't know. You live in West Duluth, yet you still somehow
Well,
get that
that's in
always
Lincoln
wrong.
Park. That's a completely different area of town.
Yeah. Okay, so what this guy is, you guys probably remember 2 podcasts ago,
Or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, something like that.
Because we did skip a week.
So we talked a little bit about having like our, I don't even remember. We call it tater topics because we were gonna try and get like a massive top the tater container.
But we have a mini
We could
keg now.
find them.
He gave me shit for the mini keg I bought, which wasn't really a mini keg. It was a big beer.
It was a crowler.
Whatever.
How are you gonna stuff these things in a crowler?
They're paper. They
You could fit
fold.
3 of them in it.
They fold.
You need to be
can
able to
run
like
3.
shake it up and like
for
pull one out.
For the 6 pieces of paper that are
Well,
in
we're
there.
gonna keep adding to it, and you guys need to help us because we need more ideas about what to put in here. So
'cause his ideas
let's
suck.
false. Okay, so let's explain what this thing is.
Yep.
So, okay, this is our. Do we have a name for it?
No, it's a mini keg though.
Oh, it was the keg questions.
Keg question?
The keg questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so each episode, or when we feel like it, really, we're gonna have questions that are tossed in here. We're gonna pluck one out, and then we're just gonna run with it. And we don't really know what's gonna be in there. It's either something submitted by you guys, or it's something that we've tossed in there. Ideally, we're gonna have enough of them in there that we'll have forgotten what the questions are. Which, I mean, from all my years of drug use, I've forgotten what I did yesterday. So it's safe to say everything's gonna be new to me.
Yeah, and some of the questions are correlated, some aren't.
Oh God, why do I keep getting your chicken
I keep
scratch?
drawing yours though. Do you need me to read it?
Ooh, you have some good questions. I gotta give it to this kid.
It depends on the question.
I mean, your ideas, like the questions that you have. I'm trying to think of a good insult for this. I don't have one. Okay. All right. So, keg questions. If you guys want to add to it, randomness. It could be car related. Could be music. Could be.
What's your favorite color?
Yeah.
We'll have a 20-minute conversation. on our
If you
favorite color.
had to make love to George H.W. Bush for the rest of your life, or
senior or junior?
listen to Courtney Cox sing, which one? Okay. Now that all of you are
I'm
flaccid
choking on my beer.
by that one. Okay. You ready?
Sure.
Y'all ready for this? Who would you rather have direct your life? Tarantino or Christopher Nolan?
All right. I remember this question.
So we might buy a BMW at this moment.
You mean a Volvo?
Or maybe a BMW. I don't know. It is totally a Volvo. I forgot what it was. Okay. Direct your life. Which one?
I think
Which
I would have to
one?
go with Nolan.
So that your life rotates upside down and
Well, okay, so as you guys know, I'm a huge movie buff, and Quentin Tarantino and Christopher Nolan are my 2 favorite directors. They don't do necessarily my favorite films, but they're my 2 favorite directors. They're what inspired me to want to do dad mods and all that kind of stuff, and just get into videography to begin with. Tarantino is batshit crazy, but he's dedicated. Like everything he shoots is on 35mm film still.
yes.
as Christopher Nolan hates CGI and everything is practical. I was actually just reading the other day. You seen the movie Interstellar?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, I have.
the cornfields. He actually planted cornfields to shoot all the shots and then sold the corn afterwards because he didn't want to use CGI for any of
You're
it.
kidding.
I'm dead freaking serious.
That's awesome.
He actually, so I went and saw the 10th anniversary of Inception a couple weeks ago, which you bailed on me. Thank you. You were building your bedroom.
Yeah.
So.
Remodeling my house.
But they had a little segment before that he was talking about how he doesn't believe in CGI because he wants his movies to hold.
Yeah.
He wants them to look good still in 20, 30
and that's
years.
the thing is, yeah, it's timeless. You can
Exactly.
pull it off.
So he's
it's
all about
timeless.
practicality. So I think I would go with him, but his movies are weird. They're all involving time.
Yeah.
As Quentin Tarantino would, if he was directing your life, you would live a really crazy life.
Right.
It would be way over the top.
Well, and yeah, his are very. So Christopher Nolan, his are very conceptual.
Yes.
Right. So it's like very sometimes kind of abstract.
Yeah.
A little bit. So I need to see Inception because that sounds like there's a lot of layers.
Yes, actually, figuratively and
Literally. Yeah.
it's funny that this is the one that was drawn. Prior, like 10, 15 minutes prior to us doing live tonight, my wife tagged me in a Facebook post, and we're going to do date night tomorrow to go see Christopher Nolan's newest film called Tenet, where it involves detectives, and like they know what's going to happen before it happens somehow. They use that to their advantage to like hunt down people.
Time.
Yeah, all of his movies
before
involve
it happens. Time.
Yeah.
Weird.
I think I'd go with
He's got a
Nolan,
thing
but it
about
would
time.
be a mind fuck. Pardon my language, but yeah, I think it'd be a mind fuck.
Yeah, man. Oh man.
But Tarantino would just
God, I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, can I choose Guy Ritchie? Because I feel like I'd prefer Guy Ritchie. Okay, so between Tarantino and Christopher Nolan, honestly, I don't know. See, here's the thing. Christopher Nolan's movies, they're really intelligent.
Yeah. Well, if you've ever seen Memento,
Oh yeah,
like
I was a fan of Memento.
That's not an easy movie to grasp.
And that's the thing is like, I guess if I'm looking at it in terms of just like this. So okay, you're asking from the perspective of directors. So the directors have their own style. The directors will apply that to your life.
Yes.
So we're not asking it like as a movie. So it's not just like Fight Club, Memento, Half Baked, Encino Man.
I've seen a theme with your favorite movie.
Biodome.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah. We're doing directors, so you have to think about like the way that they direct.
Yeah.
What's their style? What are their style of movies? What is their style of directing? And so Tarantino is tempestuous. It's chaotic.
Yeah. Okay,
That
I
guy-
don't know what that word means, but I know what chaotic
He
means.
loves a tempest is a storm.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
very tempestuous.
He's got
His
a-
movies are very like there's a lot of fights, there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of blood, right?
Not necessarily.
Name a movie of
I can name
Tarantino's
two.
that doesn't have a lot of blood.
Okay, the first one that comes to mind is a movie he did called Four Rooms, which had
Tons of blood.
no,
I'm just kidding. I haven't seen it.
It's got Madonna in it and Antonio
Oh.
Banderas in it, and it's about a hotel and 4 different rooms that take place inside the hotel.
Yeah, but it's still somebody dies.
no, somebody loses a finger though, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've ever seen The Hateful Eight,
Mm-hmm.
97% of that movie is all dialogue and story.
Yeah.
And then the last 20 minutes is just shit hitting the fan and lots of blood and lots of guns and violence.
Okay, so hence my point.
I'm just saying, you could have 97-ish% of your life being like just really good dialogue and build up, and then the end of your life just being a shit show.
Sure. Yeah, and then your wife and your children all die, and you end up getting ran over by a roadrunner. Yeah, no. Or Christopher Nolan, who is much more, there's, I don't know. How do you summarize Nolan? Because it's action, but
It
it's
does
like
have action.
very layered, very like complex.
Yeah, it's...
Why didn't you just pick The Notebook? Notebook's sad though. Like, what's a good happy ending movie?
Shrek.
Wimbledon. That's a
Shrek.
happy one.
Shrek, Toy Story.
Yeah.
Any
You
kids
could have gone
movie.
happier routes with this. Why does my life have to end in drama?
I went with my 2 favorite directors.
All right. Well, they're good directors.
Yeah. Like I said, that
No Guy Ritchie? Like,
I'm trying to... What did Guy
what
Ritchie...
the hell? Snatch, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels,
that's
Rock
right.
and Rolla.
I've only seen Snatch and Lock, Stock once.
That's it.
I like Snatch. They're both those movies. Like, I was so young when I watched them. I need to go back and rewatch them.
You definitely got to watch them. They have good style.
Yeah.
Lots of style.
Well, I think that's what makes me like Tarantino and Nolan films. It's just the style.
Man. So here's the thing. I prefer Tarantino movies over Nolan. But if I wanted him to direct my life, I would have to choose Nolan.
Yeah, Nolan's
I'd
the
have to
safe
choose Nolan.
bet.
Because
But
that's
I
the
think
thing. Like, I don't want to end with limbs cut off.
There would be
You
no
know?
dull moment, though, if Tarantino did it.
No, there wouldn't be a dull moment. I
Wait,
mean, it would be a good story.
Did you ever see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Dude,
Did you guys watch that?
I adore the fact that Tarantino was not afraid to take a story and make it the way that he wants it.
True story.
Yes.
A true event. Yeah.
And be like, this is the way it should end. Inglourious Bastards is a masterpiece.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen it?
I've seen most of it. I've seen a lot of it.
Let's just say you love the Bear Jew.
I've seen a lot of them. I haven't seen all of that one.
Watch
yet.
Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, I know. It's on my list.
It's a
and then
masterpiece.
I haven't dedicated the time to finish watching it. I really liked what I have seen of it.
Yeah. I'm really tempted to tell you why you need to watch it, but I'm not going to because it's
I know
so
a
good.
factoid about that, though.
Do you?
The scene where the movie theater burns down, the theater burns down,
Yeah.
was not supposed to happen that way. That fire got way out of control, and the Nazi symbol falling from the wall and all that wasn't in the script.
You're kidding
I'm
me.
dead serious. They completely lost control of that fire. And they just left it.
And that is why that movie is a masterpiece.
And I haven't even seen that scene in the movie. I just read an article about Tarantino facts.
God,
I'm
that's
a movie
incredible.
buff.
Really? I had no idea. Okay, wow. That's one of my favorite movies. Like,
There you go.
to hear that
See,
now, that's...
and Pulp Fiction is in my top 3.
Oh, dude.
Pulp Fiction is number 3 on my list.
That is such a good movie. Yeah. Okay. So, I wouldn't want Tarantino to direct my life. I'd have to go with Christopher Nolan.
I'd want Tarantino to direct my weekend, but Nolan to direct my life.
Yeah. That's assuming you survive the weekend.
Yeah, but if Tarantino directed your weekend, you know it'd be a lot of fun.
It would be a lot of fun.
It'd be crazy.
It definitely would be a lot of
You
fun.
go fight a swarm of ninjas, or get in a pistol fight in a cabin.
Some hot chick in a white jumpsuit with a sword.
Exactly. Yellow jumpsuit.
Huh?
It was a yellow jumpsuit.
What did I say?
White.
I said white?
Yeah, it was yellow.
I meant yellow.
I'm
Wait,
assuming-
wasn't the other girl in white? I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
And on that bombshell.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for the 11th
Wow.
Brews of the Dudes. 11th. We skipped a week. Otherwise, it would have been the 12th.
Yep.
That's
all
how
Matt-
math works.
That's
Is
basic
that what you're going to say?
You beat me to it.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Like we had alluded to earlier, we're going to close this out with a very special band named the Iron Range Outlaw Brigade. Song titled, shit, I forgot. I've had a few too many beers. I know, but like
You went through this whole spiel like I went to school with this kid and all that.
I'm allowed to forget the name of the song that we're gonna play. It's really good. It's cool. Johnny plays the trumpet.
Awesome.
Okay, love you guys. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Hey, if you want to get in touch with us, if you got a band that you want to recommend, if you've got stuff that you want to add to the keg,
Join our OnlyFans and
yeah, or Donnie's going to be doing weekly strip teases.
Yep.
Which is why you probably shouldn't.
I'll keep my socks on.
No, get in touch with us. feel free to send us messages on whatever platform. We've got Instagram, we got Facebook, we've got all the
YouTube
YouTubes.
comments. We have an email.
Yeah.
We have a website.
We have a lot of means.
Mailboxes,
We accept carrier pigeon mail.
Cinder block with a note just kind of tied to it.
Yep. So thank you very much for joining us. And here is iRob.
Yeah.
Another wasted day, trying to kill the pain from the time you left on that failed day. You walked on out of that goddamn door. You kept on walking, and I won't see you no more. Grab my guitar, I never looked back, hitching a ride down that old railroad track to the gutter. Now in the gutter is where I spend my day, hanging out with friends who feel the same way. We ain't got much, but we got time to kill. Another wasted day in the gutter. There ain't no easy way, scrounging for some change. I'm flat broke again. I'm ragged and I'm bored. If I have any luck, I'll scratch up $3-4, then I'll be on my way down to the old liquor store. It's just like Westy's saying, and he did not stutter. One foot in the door, and the other one in the gutter. Now in the gutter is where I spend my day, hanging out with friends who feel the same way. We ain't got much, but we got time to kill. Another wasted day in the gutter. Another wasted day, trying to kill the pain on that bitter memory, on that pale day in the gutter.
Perfect intro. But wait, there's more. So we forgot to mention to you, fine ladies and gentlemen, that we are actually switching channels after this week. The podcast will be its own separate YouTube channel. Apparently, people who are subscribed to us to watch car builds and event updates don't want to watch podcasts.
No, that's not the case.
Yeah, no.
So what we're aiming to do is we're trying to streamline all of our different the different content that we put out there. So we have our regular episodes, and we've got our podcasts, which we do our podcasts weekly, and we don't always get our regular episodes out weekly. It's really difficult to do that.
So you get bombarded with all these updates.
With a ton of podcasts. So if you're here for our regular episodes, you don't necessarily want to get a notification every single week about the live podcasts that we do. And then, YouTube, and for us, it's kind of nice because it gives the people that follow our channel, you get like updates ahead of time that like, hey, there's going to be a live cast coming up. So if you get a ton of notifications and that isn't really your jam, then, it might get a little bit annoying. So we just want to take and be proactive before we get too much of a negative response on that. And we're actually going to make a second channel. It's still Dad Mods, but it's specifically for our podcast.
Yep. So that way you can pick and choose what you like.
Yeah, exactly. So, but as far as the rest of our social media goes, the Instagram posts, the Facebook posts, the website, all of that is still the same place, same stuff. It's just that we're going to have the two different YouTube channels, and then you'll be able to subscribe and get notifications for each of them, or one or the other, depending upon what your preference is.
Yep. Sister channel.
Yep. So,
on that note,
you got a dad joke?
No, I don't, unfortunately.
I wonder if I can get these offline.
You're gonna screw up your microphone with your cell phone.
I'm not though. That's
not in airplane mode.
That's the thing. Oh wait, are you not gonna let me?
Yep,
Hang on.
screwing this up.
Hang on.
Screwing this up.
I'm not though. I'm not. There's actually. All right, dad joke.
Oh God.
That's a bad dad joke.
Is that the dad joke?
Okay, I got a dad joke for you.
Okay.
My daughter's wedding was very emotional for everyone. Even the cake was in tears.
Oh God. Yeah. See you guys.